I'm not known as being a long-winded person.
No questions? No.
Tiffany gonna edit the shit out of it.
Oh, this is staying raw.
Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C Certified Brewhead, and welcome to episode 64 of Beer Not Just the Podcast. And mate, we are here in Los Angeles, California, at Dry River with owner, founder, Naga. How you doing, man?
Naga!
Right here, man.
Is it
Jesus.
And of course,
dude.
we got Tio Hunter from Dope and Dank co-hosting once again. Man,
What up,
thank you so much for
man?
having us. Pleasure, man. Thank you so
Welcome
much.
to LA.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming through, man.
Love you, man.
Oh, I guess technically we're coming through.
We're coming through, yeah. Well, I mean, we can all be coming through. Why not?
Whatever.
Hey, semantics. This is a dope spot, bro.
Thank you.
Super cool. I love the vibe. Tia was saying it's all handmade.
That's correct.
Wooden stuff.
100% reclaimed, recycled, off the
Nice.
streets, out of the dumpsters.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing. And you've only been open since...
July 1st.
That's crazy.
Dude, hey, let's be clear. This is Dry River Brewing in Boyle Heights. Just right next to the Dry River.
That's right. LA River is
I
right.
love this place, man.
Thank you, brother.
I love this place. And not to take away from what you were saying about it just being open, it's always been open for much longer in my mind because I know how much you have focused on making sure this became a reality.
Yes,
and
sir.
kind of seeing you at the beginning of that all the way to the end, which was technically the beginning, was an honor. So to give the mic back to you.
No,
yes.
totally, man.
Yeah,
I definitely want to hear. I know you don't have a lot of time. Tia does have to dip out. How did you guys connect?
Just to make a long story short, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Alex Noel, over at Three Weavers in Inglewood, and they were just finishing up the Unity Brew for LA Beer Week, and I told her that I was looking to connect with Naga, and she gave me a bottle of the new Unity that just brewed, and said, "Tell him I said hi." Gave me a bottle and said, you know, he's one of the old buddies, one of the old friends from Florida. You know, he's a good dude. So I went out, came by his door, knocked on the door. The fucker wasn't here, and
I was in the back.
Yeah, no, you were doing like deliveries or something. You were hustling.
I work.
You were hustling, and I took a picture, and I'm like, "Where you at?" And he was like,
crying in the
Talking
photo.
like, goddamn.
Yeah.
dude, but he was gracious enough to say, like, look, if you come back tomorrow, like, I will sit down, we will talk. And I came back, we met, we sat down and we talked, and he showed me what he was doing here, what his goals were, asked me what I was doing later. I said nothing. He was like, come on and come to a barbecue with me where I got an opportunity to meet another great beer man and John Carpenter, the
right.
homie.
JC.
The amazing dude. Another very gracious, selfless person in craft beer industry, specifically in LA. And it's been a fairy tale ever since.
That's right.
Hopefully that wasn't too long of a story. So
No, that's amazing.
Cheers to that,
Cheers,
brother.
guys.
It was a little long.
No,
Ah.
they have it too low. What do we
You're
got here?
drinking the Arantia, which is...
No, this is the key lime sour, the El Palmito.
Al Palmito, yeah. It's a key
Yes.
lime sour. And
It's fantastic.
this gentleman's drinking the William Guanyabo.
Guanyabo.
How do you say it?
Guanyabo.
Guanyabo.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is our...
Tennis woman.
Guava sour.
It's a golden sour with guava, and I'm drinking our new IPA. Which
Bridge
is,
Fuck?
No, this one's actually made with Palo Santo, which is what we're smelling right now. We're burning up. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you hear?
I shouldn't have said that
Yeah.
on tape.
And let me tell you something real quick. This is the same dude that will roll up and down the coast and just pull over when he sees some herbs he recognizes and crushes it up and smells it and goes, "That's going in my beer."
That's right.
Like, that's fucking dope.
We did a sequoia beer, which people loved. I collected sequoia bark from one of the giant trees that fell down in the storm last year. 1,000-year-old tree.
Wow.
Brought the bark back and filtered the beer through it like an old Sati method, like an old Scandinavian form.
Amazing.
We did a Stein beer where me and John collected lava rock, and then we built a fire outside, heated the lava rock up to white hot temperatures, and then dipped it with a metal basket into the brew kettle for spontaneous boiling and caramelization.
Damn.
That one was crazy too.
That's
Dude,
insane.
he's a mad scientist from another era, dude. I mean, it's again, one of the reasons why I love Los Angeles craft beer
Right.
is because we have the kids at Indie You know, we have the evolution of hip hop and culture with Mumford. You know, we have this raw, you know, natural, organic, slow brew process. And I want you to talk about that a little bit, you know, because there's so much diversity, clearly in the city, but in the brewing community. Mm-hmm. Talk about slow beer, man. Slow
beer is akin to your grandmother's slow food. You know, it takes 2 days to, you know, cook it down and, you know, get those flavors going. It's not like throwing something in the microwave and getting fast food at McDonald's.
Right.
Which is shit, obviously. Sorry.
It's tried. You can swear.
How dare you? How dare you?
I love McDonald's. Goddamn.
But so anyway, you know, we take a long time. You know, most contemporary breweries, you know, take 2-3 weeks to make a beer. Some of our beers take up to 3 years. You know, we do all of our fermentation is done in wood. So the primary, secondary, tertiary fermentation all occurs in French oak and foeders.
Wow.
We just got 2 American foeders in, which is built with Ozark American oak. Wow. Beautiful.
From the Ozark.
Yeah.
Ozark Mountains.
Oh, that's a place?
Damn fine.
TV show.
well, yeah, I mean, that's where they were.
I don't know. I'm not from here, man.
Well, shit, I mean, you watch TV, so well done. Well done, Netflix.
Where are you from, New Zealand?
I'm from Australia. Racist. I like New Zealand. Their accent is the funniest thing in the world to me. But it's very, very close. It's almost indistinguishable, so no, completely.
To us, it sounds exactly the same.
Tell you it sounds the same. So, everyone thinks I'm British or South African.
It's all the same shit.
It's all the same shit.
If you're not American, then
what difference is it?
If you're not from America,
or Jamaican,
like me.
Jamaicans are
you better sound like me. That's one accent I can do.
America.
That's one accent I can do.
You're an American now, boy.
Telling me about slow beer. You better give me some fast beer.
Take it easy.
I don't want you. Get your hands off me,
boy. Jesus. Can you edit that? I'm going to get in trouble for that.
It's amazing.
It was tough getting open. I mean,
it was.
You know, so there's community pushback. Is that?
Well, it wasn't a community. There was some groups in the community that were, you know, anti-gentrification, which I get. But as Tio explained so eloquently, they didn't really take it as a case-by-case basis.
They kind of knew.
They just rolled everything. It's like anything new, and you're not from Boyle Heights, and you're not Mexican, we don't want it. So now, as Tio said, people know us. We have friends in the community. We do collaborations with people in the community. It's a family. Every day I meet new people. It's becoming, you can feel the fabric tightening in the community building. It's exciting. That's why I love Tio, because he's the same kind of social architect that I am. You know,
like
it's not just about beer. Beer is great, but it's
a conduit.
It's a conduit. It's like, hey, come on, you want some beer? And then before they know it, they have new friends and new family and it's like, they thought it was the beer. Well, it wasn't. It's people wanted to connect.
Yeah.
And beer is just one of those magical things that human beings have developed to make that facilitated easier.
Yeah. All right, I get it now, and you know, you've probably spoken to the people know you're the face. Yeah.
I mean,
and before you answer that, I'm gonna have to bid you gentlemen a goodbye. I've got to get out.
No doubt.
Dope and Dank. At Dope and Dank, hit me on the website, dopeanddank.com, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. We're gonna have this cat. Beer and other shit. Family, Canada, love y'all. Toronto, Montreal, Australia, the Six. What up?
Awesome.
Cheers.
Salud.
My man.
Cheers, brother.
Yes.
I'll hit you afterwards. So what's the how's the community been now? Like, has it been,
it's been
like they understand, they get it now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been pretty amazing. We're setting up block parties, and you know,
nice.
We just finished doing a relief charity beer for Mexico. You know, earthquake, that kind of stuff. We're doing one for Puerto Rico. So this is what we came here to do in the beginning.
Yeah,
we lost 3 years messing around.
Permits and nonsense.
With nonsense, basically. But, you know, we're back on track. People know who we are now. Now we're doing the positive things in the community that we set out to do.
Amazing.
And, you know, people are starting to get it. You know, there's a lot. I mean, LA is exploding right now, so it's hard to filter through and see what's good and what's not good. There are a lot of, you know, big money, you know, projects coming in who don't give a shit about the community, and they just want to make money and take, you know, so I get it.
Yeah.
You got to be cautious about preserving the community, but you also should know each person before you try to shut their business down.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're trying to feed our family.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
How did that make you feel? Like, how did you ever feel discouraged? I mean, clearly frustrated, but did you ever feel sort of like, oh, fuck, like, do I want to do this anymore? Or?
Never to that point, but definitely, sometimes you get discouraging and a little disheartening.
Yeah.
Because, you come in with the biggest intentions. I've opened up breweries all over the world. Brazil, Miami, one in Alaska, and all of those places, people were so open and grateful, to have the brewery there.
Right.
So
you come here.
And I was like, oh wow,
what's the problem?
I was a little taken ababack and didn't know what was happening. I didn't understand it.
Right.
So
it was quite aggressive.
Yeah.
From what it sounds, so pushback. Yeah.
Yeah. Other businesses have definitely had more aggressive, but legally, yeah. They were able to hold us up and trip us up for a while.
So we just actually were with Connor at Indie today.
Same book.
Did he have the same bullshit?
Exact mirror. But they had actually a little bit easier time because they were a few months ahead of us in the permitting process.
Yeah, they were the last
so they kind of went through like an arrow in the dark.
Then all of a sudden, it alerted them.
Like, whoa.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't really heard much of that before as far as like a community pushback. And we're staying in Silver Lake, and we know nothing about LA. So we went to Silver Lake because we knew that was the hipster area, and we live in hipster area, for lack of a better word, because like the shit that comes with it's kind of sucks. The things the hipsters like are really good stuff. Yeah. Third wave coffee, great beer, great food and stuff. So we stayed out there, and I feel I can see that gentrification in that area.
Sure.
So in the area we live in Montreal, it's a similar-ish situation, but I don't always really see it as bad, but like I guess it's not trying to make this area, to put in perspective, then this area, then are they accusing you and other businesses of trying to make it that hipster for lack of a better word? Or
yeah, pretty much. I think more than anything is, affordable housing and getting priced out of the neighborhood. Right? So that's the main concern.
Is that is that a real concern?
It's a real concern anywhere, any city really. You go to even Detroit. 10 years ago you could have bought a whole city block for $1. Yeah. Now it's actually
we're
booming.
Just there.
So,
it's insane. Yeah.
And that turned around like that.
Yeah.
So LA right now is going through a huge boom. If you look downtown, there's 300 cranes down there, building shit. So
which is very cool.
It's cool, but it's also expensive as hell.
I
live just up here, I live in the neighborhood of Boyle Heights, a mile from the brewery. But thank God I got my lease, 4 years ago, because to get the same apartment now would cost $3,000 for a tiny little place. So
jeez. Is it New York prices here, like Manhattan prices?
Not quite, but
on the way.
It's getting close.
Jeez,
yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. How is it in the beer world? Does that make it more difficult to survive being, I know traditionally the margins and sort of the money and beer, everyone always thinks beer is this like cash cow.
Not at all.
And it couldn't be further from the truth, right? And I guess it would be like, it's hard enough in different, I said Montreal and Toronto, but I can imagine here when you've got that extra pressure of all of that.
Costs.
I couldn't believe just
rent and
must
rent
be insane.
is killer.
Yeah.
The new breweries that are coming in are paying exorbitant rents that are really prohibitive. You got to sell a lot of beer to just cover the rent.
So you need volume. So it maybe stops the innovation and like experimentation that you're maybe able to do.
That's right. But
because you got it 3 years ago.
Right. And we got a pretty good deal on our rent, but also, our whole plan, the whole brewery plan was to keep it small. It's a planned small brewery. We're not our business plan isn't to take over, Budweiser or the world. Like a lot of breweries that want to keep growing, continuous growth. I've been in situations like that, work like that. It's not really for me. Yeah. If you want to get rich, don't get into the brewery business.
Yeah, kids, listen.
You know what I'm saying? It's for passion.
Yeah, it's an art, right?
Yeah, it's an art. So as long as you can, pay your rent and take care of your employees and everybody's good, you can sustain that and just keep making better and better beer at a small incremental growth, but without constantly having to retool your recipes and for new bigger brewing systems and all this.
Right. So the aesthetic in this let's talk about the actual bottles. The bottle aesthetic is very unique. Where does that come from? That inspiration? It looks like it's photography essentially, as opposed to
it is all
photography.
All photography. It's all shot in or around the LA River.
Fantastic.
So
is that the inspiration for the name too, I assume?
Yeah, very much so. So our whole thing is, environmental consciousness, and we have a solar thermal heating device that heats all the water, on the roof. So we do a lot of things here that, solar powered fans, and there's a lot of things that you can't see that are smart and intelligent and well thought out.
Right?
Yeah. So in Dry River, there's a lot of different meanings to it, but just the idea of a dry river should invoke some kind of concern,
right?
Because a river shouldn't be dry, should it? Because it wouldn't be a
wouldn't
river.
be a river otherwise.
It would just be just be dirt or
Yeah.
rock. So we're very much about the environment,
That's
and the river and the revitalization of LA.
Right. And does that sort of MO, did that sort of get you through the process that you were dealing with all of the headaches and stuff? Did the people eventually, was that a part of it? Like, did people actually see that, hey, these guys are like, they're trying to give back and like forget just the community stuff?
Yeah.
Like as a meeting place and what beer does, but beyond that, did people really see that message? Did they get
Oh,
that?
absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we had some pushback, but we had a lot more support than pushback.
Right.
So that
So
was
people
a small
understood.
percentage, but that's all you need to block your project is
Right.
a couple signatures and
And
protests.
I wasn't trying to hop on that at all. Just saying that, like, I think it's really cool that that's clearly such an important part. It's beyond just the beer. Like, for you,
absolutely.
clearly, right?
People got it right away, and they understand that when they come in here. Like last weekend, we had Ciclovia, which is the big downtown ride where they close, major thoroughfares for bicycles, and you can ride your bike. Thousands of people in the street riding their bikes, and this place was packed with bikers because I'm a big biker myself and used to ride professional freestyle bike back in the day. So we're involved in all that kind of stuff, and people, when they find out, people love beer, but if they find out, oh, that brewery is great, but they also love bikes, or they love environmental, or things that they're into as well, that means something to them. It's an instant kind of connection, right? So it's about community and being more than just a brewery,
right?
There's a million breweries. What's the point?
Exactly.
Do something more with it.
It's
beer is a powerful thing, and a brewery is a powerful thing. It attracts people.
Right.
So it's an opportunity to do something good.
Absolutely. And most people probably don't do something always good with it. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Maybe not consciously. It's a matter of being conscious of that opportunity and taking advantage of it.
Be more proactive about it. So like the artwork. So it was shot in the LA River. Super cool. Very striking. Like what made you go with like photos on the beer label? Because I would say that would be unorthodox for the most part.
It was. To be honest with you, we spent a lot of time with our branding, and we sat down with a lot of friends and people that are into marketing and branding, and people from the wine industry, from the spirits industry, and had meetings and brainstorming sessions. But I think ultimately, I have two partners, Dave and Vonda. They're husband and wife, and Vonda came up with that concept of
the pictures,
because she was really into wine and stuff, and we were trying to come up with our identity, and she's like, we should go more with an elegant style, to try to elevate the perception of beer instead of being like fraternity keg stand kind of drink to something that you could be proud of bringing to a party and be like, wow, what's this? It's like, oh, this is beer. That's beer. That's gorgeous, So she had the idea of doing that in the photos and in the LA River, and even if you notice, you don't see our brand, you just see the photo, and the brand's on the side. So when she came up with that idea, I was totally opposed to it. I'm like, that's insane. How are people going to know like it's our beer? And she's like, trust me, like
that's actual branding.
Yeah, because it's actual branding, because so many breweries put it in your face. It's like, oh, take it easy.
Like I get it.
Yeah, I get it. I'm going to buy it. Just calm down. So our approach is totally opposite of that. Instead of like Dry River, like it's like
sick photo.
Like, what's that? What just happened? Who said that? And it's like, oh, is that the girl in the bottle? What is this?
Did she talk to me?
Yeah. So to try to create some more of a elegance and mystique, and people look at the bottles and they really it draws them in, and it kind of elevates their perception of beer, I think.
100%. Even just looking from like at the fridge here, like it does. It looks like wine bottles.
Yeah.
And look, and something that also lends itself to that, like looking at your menu, it seems, and I took a look at the bottles before. A lot of them are like higher end, and like you said, slow beer, sours, things that take a while to sort of really like reach the perfection.
Yeah.
Was that? I mean, clearly that was intentional. What was inspiration for making? Like it looks like you're doing a lot of sours, even though you got some saison there. You got actually almost every single one is a sour, with the exception of the IPA.
Yeah. Well, I have the saison on
the saison, which is probably not so much, and the Gose, I guess.
Yeah.
But that aside, like, where does that come from?
I think it's an evolution of my experience as a brewer. I mean, sours right now are probably that's not even that. It's for me, it's the most challenging thing because I love making IPAs. It's great, but it's a simple process. Not to say that it's easy to make a great IPA, but almost anybody could make an IPA and it'd be okay.
Right.
But to make a great IPA, it's hard. But anyway, sours, there's a whole different microbiological aspect that you have to deal with, and so much variability when you're doing wood. Yeah. And there's resident evil in the wood or resident angels in the wood, and you got to sort them out, and you got to figure it out, and you got to repitch, and you got to steam, and you got to look under microscopes, and it's a whole different thing, which intrigues the hell out of me. Bless you. Took his own. Intrigues the hell out of me. It's a mysterious world. You can't see it, but I mean only under a microscope. But all that magic happens invisibly to the naked eye. And that's fascinating, and that you can manipulate those worlds and combine those worlds, of like Lactobacillus, Pediococcus, Brettanomyces, Saccharomyces, and you have all these guys on the playing field, and you control their proportions, and you move this army up, and you pull this one back, and it's very strategic. Yeah. And temperature changes, and environmental humidity changes. All these things affects what's going on inside that little world. That's a wine barrel. And the wine barrel sitting next to it is a whole other universe in there, with a whole other set of critters, and it's very interesting.
Worst beer you ever made?
Worst beer? Probably this one.
Trash. Not into it.
Hazy IPA.
Not into it. Drain pour. Where's the cake? Pour it out. You're crazy. Man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, brother.
This is a fantastic place. Where can people find you online?
DryRiverBrewing.com.
Yep. And at Dry River Brewing on social?
Yeah.
I assume?
All the same.
Perfect.
Whatever that fancy character thing is, and then Dry River Brewing.
Bam. The at sign? Yeah. It's computers, don't worry about it. Who needs it? Thank you so much again, man. LA is sick. If you enjoyed the podcast, check us a thumbs up on YouTube, hit subscribe below. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast, and subscribe to us to hear the long form audio like this on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else you get your talkie audio. That's it, guys. Thank you. Cheers, brother.